My daughter-in-law tried to sell my mansion while I was hospitalized, but she didn't know whose name was on the deed. I could hear everything. That's the worst part about being paralyzed. My body wouldn't move, my mouth wouldn't speak, but my ears worked perfectly. So I heard every word my daughter-in-law said to the realtor standing at the foot of my hospital bed. "The house is worth at least $4 million, Vanessa whispered, glancing at me like I was already dead. "Maybe more. 7 bedrooms, pool, tennis court, on 2 acres in the best neighborhood. I need you to list it immediately." The realtor, a woman with sharp heels and sharper eyes, looked uncomfortable. "Mrs. Hartley, your mother-in-law is right here. Shouldn't we wait until she's recovered or at least move to a care facility?" Vanessa laughed softly. "The doctors say she'll never recover. Brain damage from the stroke. Even if she wakes up, she won't be the same person. I'm just being practical." Practical. She called it practical to sell my home while I lay here helpless, trapped in my own body, screaming silently. The stroke had hit me 3 days ago, sudden and devastating. Now I was a prisoner, listening to my own funeral being planned while my heart still beat. Let me go back 2 weeks before the stroke, before everything fell apart. I was 68 years old, living alone in the mansion my late husband built 30 years ago. Gerald had been gone for 5 years, but I'd never considered leaving our home. Every room held memories. Every garden path reminded me of walks we'd taken together. My son Michael visited twice a week with Vanessa and their 2 children. Or at least, that's what I thought was happening. I thought we were a happy family. I thought Vanessa liked me. She always smiled, always hugged me, always said the right things. "You look wonderful, Helen," she'd say. "That color is perfect on you." She'd compliment my cooking, admire my garden, ask about my week. I'd bought birthday gifts for the kids, paid for family vacations, helped with their mortgage when money was tight. Over the years, I'd given them nearly $200,000. But I never kept score. They were family. That's what you do for family. You help them. You trust them. You never imagine they're counting down the days until you die. The stroke happened on a Tuesday morning. I was in my garden, deadheading roses, when suddenly my left side went numb. The pruning shears fell from my hand. I tried to call for help, but my words came out slurred and wrong. I collapsed onto the brick pathway, staring up at the blue sky, unable to move. My gardener found me 20 minutes later. He called an ambulance, and they rushed me to the hospital. The doctors said I'd had a massive stroke. The left side of my brain was damaged. I couldn't move my right side at all. I couldn't speak. I could barely open my eyes. But I could hear. I could understand. My mind was trapped in a useless body, aware of everything happening around me. Michael came to the hospital that first day. I heard him crying beside my bed. "Mom, please wake up. Please be okay." His hand held mine, warm and tight. For a moment, I thought everything would be fine. My son loved me. He'd take care of me. He'd protect me. Then Vanessa arrived, and everything changed. "The doctors say it's bad," she told Michael. Her voice wasn't sad. It was calculating. "They say she might never recover properly." "Don't say that," Michael replied. "Mom's strong. She'll fight through this." "Michael, we need to be realistic. Even if she survives, she'll need constant care. 24-hour nursing, maybe a facility. Do you know how expensive that is?" "We'll figure it out. Mom has savings and I can help." "Your mother's savings won't last forever," Vanessa interrupted. "And we can't afford to help. We're already stretched thin with the kids and the mortgage." There was a pause. I could feel Michael's hand trembling in mine. "What are you suggesting?" he asked quietly. "I'm suggesting we need to think about the house. It's worth millions, Michael. Sitting empty while your mother is in the hospital or some nursing home. We should sell it, use the money for her care, and whatever's left can secure our family's future. Our family's future. Not my future. Not my care. Our family. Meaning them. Michael didn't answer right away. I squeezed his hand, trying desperately to signal that I could hear, that I understood, that I was still here. But my fingers wouldn't move. My body was dead weight. Let's not talk about this now, Michael finally said. Let's just focus on Mom getting better. But Vanessa didn't drop it. Over the next 3 days, as I lay silent and helpless, she brought it up again and again. We need to be practical, Michael. The house is just sitting there, wasting money on utilities and maintenance. Think about the kids. Think about their college funds. She was relentless, wearing Michael down like water-eroding stone. And I could feel him starting to cave. His visits got shorter. His voice got quieter. The guilt was eating at him, but so was his wife's pressure. On the 3rd day, Vanessa came alone. She stood by my bed, checking her phone, barely looking at me. Then the realtor arrived. A woman named Diane something, who Vanessa had apparently already contacted. So this is the mother-in-law? Diane asked, glancing at me with professional sympathy. Yes. Helen Hartley. As you can see, she's not in any condition to make decisions. That's when Vanessa started talking about selling the house. About $4 million. About listing it immediately. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab Vanessa by her designer blouse and shake her. But I couldn't move. Couldn't speak. Couldn't do anything but listen to them plan my home sale. I'll need some documents, Diane said. The deed, property tax records, proof of ownership. That's not a problem, Vanessa said smoothly. I know where Helen keeps everything. I've been helping manage her affairs. Liar. Vanessa had never managed anything for me. I handled my own finances, my own paperwork. I was perfectly capable before the stroke. And you have power of attorney? Diane asked. There was a pause. A long, telling pause. Not yet, Vanessa admitted. But we're working on it. Michael is her only child, so it's just a formality. I can't list a property without proper authorization, Diane said firmly. I could lose my license. The authorization is coming, Vanessa insisted. I just wanted you to see the property first, understand its value. We want to move quickly once the paperwork is done. Once the paperwork is done. She was planning to forge documents. To create a fake power of attorney. To steal my house while I lay here unable to stop her. After they left, I cried. Silent tears running down my paralyzed face. A nurse noticed and wiped them away. Oh sweetie, it's okay, she said kindly. Crying is a good sign. It means you're aware and fighting. Keep fighting. I tried. Over the next week, I fought harder than I'd ever fought anything. The physical therapists came daily, moving my limbs, testing my responses. Squeeze my hand if you can hear me, they'd say. I'd try with everything I had. Sometimes my fingers would twitch. Just barely, but it was something. She's showing improvement, the doctor told Michael during one visit. Small responses. It's possible she has more awareness than we initially thought. That's great news, Michael said, and he sounded genuinely happy. Does that mean she'll recover? It's too early to say. Brain injuries are unpredictable. But she's fighting, which is always a good sign. Vanessa was there too. I couldn't see her face, but I heard the disappointment in her voice. But she'll never be the same, right? I mean, even if she wakes up, the damage is permanent. We don't know that yet, the doctor said. I've seen stroke patients make remarkable recoveries. It takes time and intensive therapy, but it's possible. How much time? Vanessa pressed. Months? Years? Every case is different. After the doctor left, I heard Vanessa and Michael arguing in the hallway. We can't wait months, Vanessa hissed. The bills are piling up. The house is sitting empty. We need to act now. She's my mother, Vanessa. I'm not selling her house while she's lying in a hospital bed. Why not? She can't live there anymore anyway. Even if she recovers, she'll need assisted living. The house is too big, too much maintenance. Selling it is the logical choice. It's not your choice to make, Michael said, and I felt a surge of hope. It's not yours either, Vanessa shot back. Not until you have power of attorney. Which you should have gotten years ago. Mom was always so independent. She never wanted to sign those documents. Well, now look where we are. She's incapacitated and we can't access anything. Her accounts are frozen. We can't pay her bills. We can't make decisions about her care. We're stuck, Michael. She was lying. My accounts weren't frozen. My bills were on autopay. Everything was handled. Vanessa just wanted access to my money. I'll talk to the lawyer tomorrow, Michael said tiredly. We'll figure something out. That night, a new nurse came on duty. Her name was Rita, and she was older, experienced, with kind eyes and a no-nonsense manner. Hello, Helen, she said, checking my vitals. I'm Rita. I'll be taking care of you tonight. She talked to me while she worked, not at me like some nurses did, but to me. Like she knew I could hear. I've been reading your chart, Rita said. Says here you were quite the businesswoman. Ran your own interior design company for 30 years. Impressive. If I could have smiled, I would have. Yes, I'd run a successful business. I'd built it from nothing, made it profitable, sold it for $3 million when I retired. I wasn't some helpless old woman. I was smart, capable, strong. Your son seems nice, Rita continued. But that daughter-in-law of yours, well, I've seen her type before. Hovering around, asking about prognosis, wanting to know about assets. She's more interested in your money than your recovery. Rita understood. Finally, someone saw through Vanessa's act. Here's what I think, Rita said quietly, leaning close. I think you can hear me. I think you're trapped in there, aware of everything. Am I right? I tried so hard to respond. To blink, to twitch, to do anything that would show her yes. My left eye flickered. Just a tiny movement, but Rita saw it. Was that a blink? Blink once for yes, twice for no. I focused every ounce of energy on my left eye. Blink. Once. Slowly but deliberately. Rita gasped. Oh my God. You can communicate. She ran to get the doctor, who came immediately. They tested me, asking yes and no questions, watching my responses. This changes everything, the doctor said. Helen is locked in, not unconscious. She's fully aware. What does that mean for her recovery? Rita asked. It means she needs intensive therapy. Speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. She might regain more function. But more importantly, it means she can make her own decisions. We just need to establish a better communication system. They set me up with a letter board, pointing to letters while I blinked to spell out words. It was exhausting and slow, but I could finally communicate. The first thing I spelled out was, Vanessa trying to steal house. The doctor and Rita exchanged glances. We need to call a social worker, the doctor said. And possibly the police. But I blinked frantically. No. Not yet. I needed a better plan. I needed to be smart about this. If we confronted Vanessa now, She'd deny everything, play the concerned daughter-in-law, make me look paranoid. I needed proof. Over the next 2 weeks, my communication improved. I could spell faster, blink clearer responses, even move my left hand slightly. The doctors were amazed at my progress. But I told them not to tell Vanessa. Not to let her know how much I'd recovered. Let her think I'm still completely incapacitated, I spelled out. I need to know what she's planning. Rita understood. She became my ally, my spy, reporting everything Vanessa said and did. And what Vanessa was doing was worse than I'd imagined. She'd hired a lawyer to create fake power of attorney documents. She'd contacted a real estate agent and scheduled a property appraisal. She'd even started packing up my personal belongings from the house, claiming she was preserving Helen's memories. She was stealing from me while I was alive, and Michael was starting to go along with it. Mom would want us to be practical, I heard him tell Rita one day. She wouldn't want the house sitting empty. Have you asked her? Rita said pointedly. She can communicate now. Why don't you ask her what she wants? Michael looked uncomfortable. The doctor said not to stress her with big decisions. The doctor said no such thing, Rita replied. Your wife told you that. Michael visited me that evening, alone for the first time in days. He sat beside my bed, holding my hand. Mom, I don't know if you can hear me, but I need to talk to you. I blinked once. Yes. I can hear you. But he wasn't looking at my face. He was staring at our joined hands. Vanessa thinks we should sell the house. She says it's practical, that you'd need the money for care anyway. And honestly, Mom, she's probably right. Even if you recover, you can't live in that big house alone anymore. I squeezed his hand with my left hand. Gently, but enough that he'd feel it. Michael jumped. Mom? Did you just squeeze my hand? I did it again. Harder this time. Oh my God. You can hear me. You understand. He pressed the call button frantically. Rita came and together they set up the letter board. Michael watched in shock as I painstakingly spelled out words. You. Being. Manipulated. His face went pale. What do you mean? Vanessa. Wants. Money. Not. My. Best. Interest. Mom, that's not fair. Vanessa's just trying to help, no. She. Wants. House. For. Herself. And then I told him everything. How I'd heard Vanessa talking to the realtor. How she'd been planning to forge power of attorney documents. How she'd been packing up my belongings without permission. Michael's face went from pale to red. That can't be true. Vanessa wouldn't ask. The realtor. Diane Martinez. I spelled out the name I'd heard Vanessa use. She met here in hospital. Michael stood up abruptly. I need to make some calls. He left and I could hear him in the hallway, his voice rising as he talked to someone on the phone. Rita came back in, smiling. You did good, Helen. Now we wait and see what he does with the truth. What Michael did was hire a private investigator. Within 3 days, the investigator had documented everything. Vanessa's meetings with the realtor. Her consultation with a lawyer about forging power of attorney documents. Her trips to my house where she'd been removing valuable items, including jewelry and artwork. She'd even opened a new bank account in her name, preparing to deposit money from the house sale. Michael confronted her in my hospital room, probably because he wanted me to witness it. I know what you've been doing, he said coldly. I know about Diane, about the lawyer, about the items you've taken from Mom's house. Vanessa's face went white. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me, Michael said. I have a private investigator's report. Photos, recordings, documents. You've been planning to steal from my mother. Steal? I was trying to help. Your mother needs care, and that costs money. My mother has $3 million in investments, Michael said. She's more than capable of paying for her own care. What she doesn't need is you selling her house and pocketing the money. I would never. You already have, Michael interrupted. The investigator found the jewelry and paintings in your car. You were taking them to an appraiser. Were you planning to tell me about that? Vanessa's mask finally dropped. Her face hardened, all pretense of concern gone. Fine. Yes, I wanted to sell the house. Why shouldn't I? We've spent years taking care of your mother, spending every Sunday at her house, listening to her boring stories, pretending to care. We deserve something for that. We deserve something. Michael's voice was dangerously quiet. Mom gave us nearly $200,000 over the years. She paid for our vacations, our kids' expenses, even our mortgage at one point. And you think we deserve more? That money's gone, Vanessa snapped. We need the house. We need security for our future. At the expense of my mother's security. Michael turned to look at me. Mom, I'm so sorry. I should have seen this sooner. I blinked slowly, forgiving him. He'd been blind, but he saw clearly now. That's what mattered. Michael turned back to Vanessa. Pack your things. I want you out of our house by tonight. You can't kick me out. I'm your wife. You're a thief and a liar. I'll be filing for divorce tomorrow. Vanessa's face twisted with rage. You'll regret this. I'll take you for everything in the divorce. The house, the kids, the money. Everything. Try it, Michael said. My lawyer already has all the evidence of your attempted fraud. You'll be lucky if you don't face criminal charges. After Vanessa left, screaming threats, Michael collapsed into the chair beside my bed. I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have protected you. Using the letter board, I slowly spelled out, you. Did, now. He cried then, holding my hand. I thought I knew her. I thought we were building a life together. But she was just waiting for you to die so she could cash in. Some people are like that. I spelled learn from this. And he did learn. Michael divorced Vanessa, fought for and won primary custody of the kids. The courts were not sympathetic to a woman who'd tried to steal from her incapacitated mother-in-law. Meanwhile, my recovery continued. After 3 months, I could move my right arm slightly. After 6 months, I could speak, though my words were slurred and slow. After a year, I could walk with a walker. The doctors called it miraculous. I called it determination. I'd be damned if I'd let a stroke and a greedy daughter-in-law destroy me. Throughout my recovery, I had time to think about my estate planning. About how naive I'd been. I'd built a successful business, sold it for millions, invested wisely. But I'd never protected myself from the people closest to me. So I made changes. I hired an estate lawyer and restructured everything. First, I transferred the mansion's deed. My lawyer suggested putting it in a trust, but I had a better idea. I put it in my granddaughter's name. Emma was 16, smart, and had always been kind to me. The deed now listed Emma Reynolds as owner, with the stipulation that I had lifetime rights to live there. If Emma tried to sell before I died, the property would revert to charity. It was bulletproof. This is brilliant, my lawyer said. Nobody can force a sale, not without your granddaughter's consent, which she can't give until she's 18. By then, you'll have hopefully recovered more, or passed on naturally. Next, I revised my will. Michael was still my primary beneficiary, but with conditions. He'd inherit after my death, but if he ever married someone who attempted to steal from the estate, all his inheritance would go to my grandchildren instead. That's harsh, Michael said when I told him. My speech had improved enough to hold conversations, though I still slurred some words. You married someone who tried to steal from me while I was dying, I pointed out. I'm protecting myself from your future bad decisions. He laughed, though it was bitter. Fair enough. I earned that. Michael had changed over the past year. He'd become more cautious, more aware, less trusting. He'd learned that people aren't always who they seem. That family doesn't automatically mean loyalty. That sometimes the people closest to you are the most dangerous. Vanessa, meanwhile, had disappeared. After the divorce, she'd moved across the country, abandoning any pretense of wanting custody of the kids. Emma and her younger brother Tyler lived with Michael now, visiting me every weekend. Grandma, did Mom really try to sell your house while you were in the hospital? Emma asked me one Saturday. We were sitting in my garden, which I could finally enjoy again. I'd regained enough mobility to walk outside with help. Yes, I said simply. She did. That's so evil, Emma said. I can't believe anyone would do that. Greed makes people evil, I told her. Your mother wasn't always bad. But she wanted money more than she wanted integrity, and that changed her. Is that why you put the house in my name? I'd told Emma about the deed change on her 17th birthday. She'd been shocked and honored. Partly. But also because I trust you. You've always been kind to me, Emma. Not because you wanted something, but because you genuinely cared. That's rare. I do care about you, Grandma. You're like my best friend. She hugged me carefully, aware of my still fragile body. Promise me something, I said. Promise me you'll never let greed control you. Never value money over people. Never become like your mother. I promise, Emma said seriously. I never want to be like her. 2 years after my stroke, I was living independently again in my mansion. I still had some paralysis on my right side, still needed a cane to walk, still slurred my words when tired. But I was alive. I was home. I was protected. The house that Vanessa tried to steal sat securely in Emma's name. The money she tried to grab was locked in trusts and investments she couldn't touch. I sometimes wondered what would have happened if I hadn't recovered. If I'd stayed locked in, unable to communicate, unable to defend myself. Vanessa would have sold my house, stolen my money, and probably convinced Michael it was all for my own good. The thought made me cold. One afternoon, I got a letter. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting. Vanessa's. I almost threw it away, but curiosity won. Helen, it read. I know you probably hate me. I know what I did was wrong. But I want you to understand that I was desperate. Michael and I were drowning in debt. The kids needed things. I felt like selling your house was the only solution. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I'm not a monster. I'm just someone who made terrible choices when scared. I hope you're recovering well. Despite everything, I did care about you once. Vanessa. I read the letter twice, then burned it in my fireplace. She wanted understanding, absolution, maybe even sympathy. But she'd shown me who she really was. She was someone who'd steal from a dying woman. Someone who'd value money over morals. Someone who deserved no place in my life or my family's. Michael found me watching the letter burn. What was that? Your ex-wife trying to make herself feel better, I said. She wants me to understand her desperation. Do you? No, I said firmly. Desperation doesn't excuse cruelty. Debt doesn't justify theft. She made choices and choices have consequences. Michael nodded. I've been teaching the kids that. Emma especially needs to understand. She's about to inherit a mansion at 18. That's a huge responsibility. Emma would turn 18 in 6 months. When she did, the deed would fully transfer to her name, though I retained lifetime residence rights. We'd already discussed what she'd do with that responsibility. I want you to live here as long as you want, Grandma, Emma had said. And when you're gone, I want to keep the house. Maybe raise my own family here someday. This house has good memories, despite what Mom tried to do. What if you need money? I'd asked. What if life gets hard and selling seems like the easy solution? Then I'll remember what you taught me, Emma said. That some things matter more than money. That legacy isn't about dollars, it's about love and family and doing the right thing. She understood. At 17, my granddaughter understood what my 35-year-old daughter-in-law never had. Some things can't be bought or sold. Some legacies can't be measured in dollars. Some relationships matter more than any bank account. On Emma's 18th birthday, we had a small ceremony at the house. My lawyer was there, along with Michael, Tyler, and a few close friends. Emma Reynolds, the lawyer, said formally, as of today, you are the legal owner of this property. All rights, responsibilities, and decisions regarding this estate now rest with you. Emma took the deed with shaking hands. I promise to take care of it, she said, looking at me. I promise to honor Grandma's legacy and everything this house represents. I know you will, I said. After the ceremony, we had cake in the garden. The same garden where I'd collapsed from the stroke 3 years ago. The same paths where I'd learned to walk again. The same roses I'd been pruning when my life changed forever. Do you ever regret it? Michael asked quietly. Regret what? Putting the house in Emma's name instead of mine. I'm your son. Traditionally, I'd inherit everything. I looked at him carefully. Was he hurt? Resentful? But his face showed only curiosity. I don't regret it, I said honestly. You're my son, and I love you. But you made a bad choice in marrying Vanessa. You almost let her steal from me. I needed to protect myself. I understand, Michael said. And honestly, it's better this way. If Emma owns it, no future wife of mine can ever make claims on it. You protected not just yourself, but our whole family. That was the idea. You're a smart woman, Mom. Smarter than I ever gave you credit for. We sat in comfortable silence, watching Emma and Tyler play with the dog. My grandchildren, my legacy, my future. Can I ask you something? Michael said. When you were in the hospital, when you couldn't move or speak, what was that like? I thought back to those dark days. The helplessness, the fear, the rage at being trapped in my own body while Vanessa plotted. It was like being buried alive, I said quietly. Aware of everything but unable to stop anything. Watching someone steal my life while I screamed silently. I'm so sorry I didn't see it sooner. You see it now. That's what matters. 5 years after my stroke, life had settled into a new normal. I was 73 now, moving slower but moving. Emma was in college, studying business, planning to run her own company someday like her grandmother. Tyler was thriving in high school, making friends, playing sports, being a normal kid. Michael had started dating again, carefully this time. He'd learned his lesson about choosing partners. And me? I'd learned that survival isn't just about staying alive. It's about protecting what matters, standing up for yourself, and knowing when to fight. Vanessa had thought I was helpless. She'd thought a stroke had made me weak, vulnerable, easy prey. She was wrong. I'd been strong before the stroke, strong during it and stronger after. Strong enough to communicate when trapped. Strong enough to expose her schemes. Strong enough to restructure my estate and protect my family. The mansion stood solid and beautiful, mine in life, Emma's in-law, protected from anyone who'd try to take it. I'd walk through it sometimes, touching the walls, remembering. This was the house Gerald and I built. The house we'd filled with love and laughter. The house Vanessa tried to steal. The house that would pass to my granddaughter, untouched by greed. One morning, I got a phone call from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Helen. Vanessa's voice. I hadn't heard it in 5 years. What do you want? I heard you made a full recovery. I'm glad. No, you're not, I said bluntly. If I'd died, you might have gotten away with it. There was silence. Then, I heard you put the house in Emma's name. You heard correctly. That was smart, Vanessa admitted. I never would have thought of that. That's because you only think about taking, never about protecting. I just wanted to tell you that I'm sorry. Really, truly sorry. I was in a bad place mentally, financially, and I made horrible choices. Yes, you did. Is there any chance, could we maybe talk? Work toward some kind of reconciliation? I almost laughed. Vanessa, you tried to sell my house while I lay paralyzed in a hospital bed. You stole jewelry and artwork from my home. You manipulated my son and endangered my grandchildren's stability. Why on earth would I want to reconcile? Because Emma asks about me sometimes, Vanessa said quietly. Michael tells me. She wonders what I'm like now, if I've changed. And have you? I asked. I'm in therapy, Vanessa said. Working on myself. Understanding why I did what I did. It doesn't excuse anything, but I'm trying to be better. That's good, I said. Truly. But being better doesn't erase what you did. It doesn't rebuild trust you destroyed. I know. I just hoped, maybe someday. Maybe someday isn't today, I said. Maybe someday isn't next year. Maybe someday is never. You showed me who you are, Vanessa. And I believe you. I hung up before she could respond. Some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. Some betrayals are too deep to forgive. I'd survived a stroke, survived being trapped in my own body, survived an attempt to steal everything I'd built. I'd fought my way back to life, protected my family, and secured my legacy. The mansion stood behind me, solid and safe. Emma's name on the deed. My life inside its walls. No one would take it. No one would steal it. No one would make me a victim again. I'd learned the most important lesson anyone can learn. Protect yourself, trust carefully, and never underestimate the strength you have inside. Because when someone thinks you're helpless, that's when you show them exactly how strong you really are. That's when you survive, fight back, and win.